So this is something I watched the police on TV talking to this kid about they liked him, but he was messing up, and what is it going to take for them to stop for this to stop? Because he's a smart kid, he's a likable kid, and they don't want to keep arresting him. They don't want to put him. He's going to wind up in prison or dead. All the yada yada yada. And he said, "What else am I going to do? Like, man, there ain't no jobs. What else am I going to do? They ain't hiring me. I got to go 50 miles to get a job. They're not going to hire me." And the cops start talking to him with the normal, "We have no solution, but we know you can do better" thing. And that reminded me of a time when I met this young man. I was cleaning my truck, and he was walking by and asked me, "Were they hiring?" I said, "I'm not hiring. It was my truck." I said, "But, I know these places are looking for people to work." And he said, "Well, I got a criminal history." And at that time, where I was trying to sell them, it was kind of like, warehousing and stuff. And they weren't really too cool with that. So I said, "Well, I know this company that's hiring labor work, and it's paying like $20 an hour, 22." And he was like, "Really?" So we start talking, and at the end of it all, I gave him a number and some information about calling the union hall and getting on their registry. It's like $27, $19 in. It's like $27 now, and you start paying that, and you basically show up at the hall. Now you can show up at the hall, and when you get hired, you go on full time, and things change, but it changes. We talked and everything. So I said, "Well, call all these. Every time you see a construction going on, see the name on it, call, or see somebody in a white hat standing around looking like they're running stuff. Go talk to them and say you want work." Okay. So I forgot about him. We went on. Life goes on, right? 2 years later, I'm at this job site here at the Norton Terminal, and this guy walks up behind me while I'm unstrapping the load, and you get that presence, somebody's staring at you, and I turn around, he's like 3 feet from me. I'm like, "What's up?" He ain't got no machine, he ain't got no lift, so what you over here, like, that's all off to me. Like, why are you just standing there with the smile on your face? And I didn't recognize him because he's gotten bigger, he's gotten darker, or at least he looks darker, and he's gotten more, he's solid. He was kind of a skinny guy when I met him, and I'm looking at him like, "I know you." And he's like, "Yeah, man, like a few years ago. And he tells me that he took my advice, and that he started calling around, and one person gave him a chance, and then that job introduced him to another job, and then that job turned into a full-time job, and he started taking surveyor school, or engineering, or site engineering, site surveying through this company. So now he's cement/surveyor, and he's just like, man, he's and this is all, he hasn't even went to school yet. Like, they haven't sent him to engineering school, nothing yet, or he hasn't went. He's just learning the basics. He's helping the guy, and he's making really good money. So my point to all this is, and this is all to the young men and the young women who are in these situations where you don't know what to do next. You don't know how to get out of this misery. Sometimes you got to make drastic changes. Sometimes you got to leave everything you love to survive. Your friends, your family. Sometimes you just got to break away to go get yourself rooted so that you can bloom, so you can grow. And even though the homies and all that, no one's going to understand. So you don't tell them, but you might have to leave. And I know in this state of Washington, and in this part of I'm in Western Washington, Seattle, Tacoma, all that, Oregon, Canada. There are programs. Right now, Seattle City Light, which is a career job, is offering apprenticeship programs. Right now, Tacoma has apprenticeship programs. These guys take you in with nothing. All you have to do is have a GED or a high school diploma. Oh, you don't have one of those. Well, they have schools that will get you those for free. We have a place called Dick's Hamburgers here. Maybe you heard of it, Posse on Broadway with the Dick's, right? Dick's Hamburger pays people $20 an hour with benefits and can also give you tuition if you want to go to school. So, I mean, there's a plethora, there's a lot of opportunities here. I see job signs all over the place looking for people to work. So if you are in one of these places, this young man came from Jacksonville, right? Now he's doing good, looking good, making good money, taking care of his new family. If you are in a place where you want to do something different and don't know what, I will suggest to you, you can hit me, leave a message. Hey man, I live in this state. Is there anything for me? I will try to answer I will help you look to see if you have those kind of programs or tell you the closest state. Or if you want to come to Washington State, there are a plethora. Now it's a little expensive here, true. Sometimes you got to do things a little different. You got family, you don't have family. Come in numbers, 3 or 4 people come together. This is what some of my essays do. They come together, they get an apartment together. They each got a room, one got a couch, and they pay a little bit and save a lot so they can get their own. But there are programs here, especially if you're single or willing to be single. I mean, what I mean is you can bring your girl or your guy, or you can come alone. We have the longshoremen. We have the King County Apprenticeship Program, carpentry, heavy equipment, welding, any of that. And those skills will take you around the world. Truck driving, I can tell you how to get into that, and that's probably in your own state. Right now is the time where you say, I'm going to go to a truck driver. You have a license. You're over 21. And if you're under 18, I know some stuff for that too. If you're 18 or over. But there are things that you may not know that are available to you. And if you need my help or if I can suggest something for you, hit me up, man. I mean, I can't do miracles, but you got to put some effort in. But if you do that, I'm willing to help, because what else can you do cannot be the end of your future. What else can you do cannot be the reason why you're not successful. And it seems like many of us, caught up in the game of, I have nothing else to live for, so who cares if I die? I care. And your families care. And it doesn't matter where you live. That shit that's going on around this country, man, and everybody's shooting and killing, it's a game. They've trained the animals how to act in the game, and the animals are acting. You got to break that cycle. You got to want something for you and your family or your possible family. And it's not at the end of a barrel. So if I can do anything or say anything to help you get out of that situation, man, just hit me up. I'm not looking for fans. I'm not looking for likes. I'm trying to save some lives and hopefully change some futures, because somebody did that for me. And I don't know how else to tell you how to do it. But there are programs all over the country. Maybe you don't know how to look for them. There are programs in this state galore. If you want to move away from where you are, where I live at, Seattle and Tacoma, dude, people get into trouble because they go places to get into trouble. Most trouble happens in trouble areas. There is some wildfire shit that pops off every now and then, but most of it is you kind of stepped into it. You didn't mind your own business. You didn't go where you shouldn't have went, or you went where you shouldn't have went. That kind of stuff. 90% of the time, if you come up here, mind your own business, and don't look for the clout, and don't look for the being the cool gangs and all that, and you can make it here. But anyway, if you're looking for a change in your life, girls, all that I said applies to you too. Matter of fact, the other thing that's booming up here real big is nursing, male or female. They need nurses galore. Like, I mean, there's you can hire from here to California with that kind of work. I wouldn't go to California though. But anyway, if I said anything to help you, or you got a question, Maybe you don't have someone near you to answer a good question, about changing your life, because nobody wants to see your friends and your family. Sometimes they don't want you to change, because you changing, being better, means they didn't. You getting away from the trouble means they couldn't. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to go anywhere, because they want you in that same misery they are. And that's why if you look around you, look at the mentality of people around you that keep doing the same thing. That, you say, I want something different. Oh, nigga, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be. That's not true. But if I can help you at all, hit me up. If this message isn't for you, but someone please send it to them. I'm willing to get it online and go look for you in your state, in your county, if you wanna try there first. Me, I always think that, man, get away from all the heads and start over, because all the heads want to bring you back. That's just my personal opinion. And Steve Harvey said it, man. You got to take the leap of faith. You got to step out on your own and believe that you can be successful. So if I said something to help you, please hit me up. If you got a question about where you are, what's available, hit me up. If you want to know more about what you might want to be into here, hit me up. I will do my best to answer you with the best answer that can get you successful and change your life. That's all I got. Much love.